Hi friends, I am Mathiazhagan, Assistant Professor on the Department of Computer Applications. Today concept of computer networking HTTP. So HTTP full form it is the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So today we have explained about the HTTP of computer networking. So HTTP stand for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So it is the main way web browser and servers communicating to share the information on the internet. So it is the used for the Tim Pinware invent. So hypertext it is the type of the text that is the specialist code with the help of some standard coding language called hypertext markup language. It is the called as the HTML. So HTTP by 2 it is the new version of the HTTP, and HTTP by 3 it is the latest version of the HTTP, which is the published in the 2024. It is the latest version of advanced in the HTTP by 3. So when you visit a website, so HTTP helps your browser request and receive the data need to the display the web pages you see. So it is the fundamental part of the how the internet works and making it is the possible for us the browser and interact with the website. So in this article we are going to discuss the full form of the HTTP along with the hooking, advanced and disadvantages. So already I have said HTTP Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It is the set of the rules of the sharing the data on the World Wide Web. So HTTP it is the browser and server communication along with the people share the information over the through the internet of the World Wide Web. So basic structure. So key points of the basic structure is the HTTP form of the fundamental of the web and enabling the data communications and file sharing. It is the basic structure and web browsing. So most websites use the HTTP. So when you click on the link or download a file, HTTP is at work. So next one is the client server model. So HTTP works on the request response systems. So your browser so ask for the information and the website server responds with the data. So it is the client server model. So next one is the application layer protocol. So HTTP operates within the internet protocol suite managing the how the data transmitted and it is the working. The protocol used to the transfer hypertext between the two computers is known as the hypertext transfer protocol. So HTTP is the provided as a standard between the web browser and web server to establish the communications. So it is the set of the rules of the transferring the data from one computer to another. So data such as the text, images and other multimedia files are shared on the World Wide Web. So whenever a web user opens the web browser, the user indirectly uses HTTP. So it is an application protocol that is the used for the distributed and collaborative and hypermedia information systems. So working up the HTTP hypertext transfer protocol is the first of all the whenever we want to the open any website, we first open the web browser. After that we will the type of URL of the website. For example, www.facebook.com. So this URL is now sent to the domain name server DNS. Then the DNS first check record for this URL in the database, and then DNS will be written the IP address to the web browser corresponding to this URL. Now the browser is able to send a request to the actual server. So after the server sends the data to the client, the communicate the connections of the browser. If we want to something else from the server, we should use for the establish the connection between the client and the server. So HTTP connection. So it is the client and the server. So also it is the cloud also used. So it is the client is the request to the send. So response to the client. It's the TCP connections between the client and the server. So it is the working of a HTTP of client side and server side. So what is an HTTP request? So HTTP request is simply terminated as the information of the data that is the needed by the internet browser after loading of a website. This is simply known as the HTTP request. There is some common information that is the generally present in all the HTTP requests. The are mentioned below. So HTTP version, URL, HTTP method, HTTP request headers, HTTP body, HTTP request header. HTTP request header generally store the information in the form of a key value and must be presented in the each HTTP request. The use of this request header is to the provide core informations about the client informations extra. A request body. HTTP request body simply contains the information that has to be the transferred. So HTTP request has the information or data to be sent to the browser. HTTP method. HTTP methods are the simply HTTP verb in split of being a person. So many HTTP method. The most common HTTP method are HTTP get and HTTP post. There are the two generally used for the HTTP cases. In the HTTP get, the information received from the form of the user. What is the HTTP response? HTTP response is the simply the answer to what a server get when the request is raised. There are various things contained in the HTTP response. Some of them listed below: HTTP status code, HTTP header, HTTP body. So HTTP full form, it is the used for the server side systems, the database, web server. So HTTP request and HTTP response for the client browser.